She believed she could, and so she did. I used this quote to start the letter of recommendation I wrote for my former AVID student, Jessica, when she applied to college. It's a quote that perfectly encapsulates what it's like to help students chase greatness. And it remains a defining theme in mine and Jessica's decade-long connection and in my professional practice. When thinking back on my educator journey, I often reflect on when I was an AVID elective teacher, and more specifically, to Jessica's class. In that AVID classroom, we weren't just learning content. We were building something deeper, a community grounded in trust, reciprocal relationships, and collective responsibility. We were chasing greatness together. One memory stands out vividly. It was a tutorial Thursday. Jessica had already emerged as a leader among her peers. I will never forget overhearing her help a fellow classmate struggling to connect with his math teacher and asking for more support. "For real," she said, "show your math teacher your tutorial request form. How can he not see that you're growing and deserve a second chance on that unit test? Remind him you were the first in our class to get a college acceptance. You're trying." She turned to me and smiled. "Let's practice, Buff. You play the math teacher. What would you say?" In that simple, powerful moment, Jessica modeled what activated student agency looks like. She wasn't just helping a friend. She was empowering him to advocate for himself, to believe in his own growth. That's the heart of Stage 3 and Stage 4 relational capacity. Students lifting each other up, stepping into their own voices. AVID tutorials made an impact even earlier in my educator journey. At the start, actually, when I was a student teacher. And the school principal asked me to also tutor for the school's new AVID program. I stepped into the role of AVID tutor completely unaware of how much that small moment would shape my future. Through trial and error and small breakthroughs in that AVID tutorial, I learned to see the brilliance in every student's thinking. Those moments lit a fire in me, the belief that every student carries greatness and that it's my role to help bring it forward. Later, that same principal hired me as a full-time teacher and welcomed me onto the AVID site team. Together, our site team learned that real growth didn't come from big initiatives. It came when we celebrated every small step our students took. Slowly, others noticed. Resources followed, and college and career dreams that once felt like a very distant opportunity became real and reachable. We weren't just chasing greatness anymore. We were living it. In those early years, I learned a hard but important truth. Enthusiasm alone couldn't erase a deficit mindset. Real change demanded more. Critical self-reflection, honest conversations, and collaboration with colleagues who, like me, choose to believe in every student's potential. I discovered that relational capacity isn't something reserved for the first day of school. Instead, it's something we nurture every single day in every interaction with not just our students, but also our colleagues. AVID taught me that moving with an asset mindset will bring growing pains. And growing pains of the heart are often the hardest to bear. Let me tell you, colleagues, they are worth it. Greatness isn't something we chase alone. It's something we catch together. Today, as a teacher-educator, I carry those lessons forward. I work to create spaces where new teachers feel supported and seen. Because when they know what it feels like to be believed in, they can go out and build classrooms where students don't just survive, they thrive. It was in the AVID community that I found the courage to lean into discomfort, to ask hard questions, grow, and live out my individual determination. Today, I truly have the best job. I get to help aspiring educators chase greatness. Relational capacity is at the heart of my practice, aiding me as I approach my work through reflection, inquiry-driven growth, constant collaboration, and always celebration. Many of you will understand when I say there is no feeling quite like seeing a former student become an educator themselves and watching AVID principals come alive in their own classrooms. Jessica is living proof. Her student agency blossomed into educator agency. She breaks down barriers, demands rigor, aligns learning with purpose, and advocates fiercely for her students. Today, my former AVID student, Jessica, is an educational specialist in San Diego. And she now mentors my student teachers in my program. I am one very proud AVID educator. Witnessing all my students turn their beliefs into action fuels my commitment to this profession. When I see my students changing lives, I'm reminded that AVID isn't something we experience. It's a mindset we live every day. So colleagues and AVID family, I leave you with this final thought. If my new teachers take one thing from our shared journey, I hope it's this. Your belief in your students' abilities is one of the most powerful indicators of their success. Together, educators and students turn that belief into action, because just like Jessica and just like me, we are living proof of what happens when belief meets purpose.